Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining. If you're joining from LinkedIn, can you drop a comment? If you're joining from Twitch, please drop a comment, and also from Facebook and also YouTube. Thank you for joining our second day of AI Spotlight teaching series. AI Spotlight teaching series. Yesterday we started, will I said, a new project, or we started a new task for those who are yet to understand or yet to navigate their way in terms of understanding how AI works. And some people don't even know what resources they actually need to kick off their AI career. Some want to have a basic knowledge and a basic understanding. Some people go to YouTube, and some people actually make use of ChatGPT to have an understanding of what AI is. But certain organizations like Microsoft have been able to put together very resourceful materials that are very short and understandable or easy to understand, for individual that wants to have a basic knowledge and understanding of, AI. When we talk about artificial intelligence, there are other concepts, that are interconnected with AI. We have something like computer vision, we have generative AI, we have natural language processing, we have machine learning. Then yesterday, we were able to kick it off with those foundational knowledge and concepts. We're able to have an understanding of artificial intelligence itself, then followed by generative AI, then followed by computer vision, and followed by natural language processing, and followed by speech. Then we're also able to look at it from different use case, and also from different points of views, for each of these concepts. If you miss it, please go to my previous teaching yesterday. If you're on Facebook, all you need to do is to go to my profile page, and you'll be able to see my last post before the AI book reading. And if you're on Twitch, the same thing on my Twitch channel, you should be able to see that as well. And on YouTube, you should be able to see that as well. We started that yesterday, and the screen looks very similar to what you're seeing right now. Okay, let's dive into it. Today, we're going to continue with the next unit, which is extract data and insight. Okay, let's listen.
Often critical information is locked up in forms or other documents. For example, think about the challenge of processing a large number of expense claims or insurance applications. And it's not just in written documents either. There are cases where perhaps you have a recorded call or a meeting and you have to find a specific piece of information within everything else that was discussed. AI can be really useful at analyzing content in all different formats to extract key fields, values, or other points that you need to address. Let's take a look at an example. Let's say that on my business trip to Paris, I stopped for lunch. Of course I did, it's Paris. Well, now I need to submit an expense claim based on this receipt. So I'll upload the receipt and ask Copilot to tell me how much I should claim. Great! Copilot has extracted a whole bunch of information from the receipt, including the total amount. The only problem is that the receipt is in euros and I need to submit a claim in US dollars. So let's use AI to do a little bit more of the work for me and convert that to the right currency. Fantastic, ready to submit my claim. Who says there's no such thing as a free lunch? So how does AI know how to extract specific details? Let's take a closer look. Extracting information from documents and other sources is a really common use of AI. For example, consider this receipt. There's lots of information on the receipt that we could extract, and we can train a machine learning model to identify specific fields, for example, the company name, the address, or all these other fields. Now, the important point is that the model identifies different types of fields. It understands what a telephone number looks like, what a date looks like. It understands things like numeric values, or even things like barcodes or QR codes. AI's ability to analyze content and extract information and insights is extremely powerful. And as with any powerful technology, it needs to be used responsibly. And that's what we'll explore next.
Wow, that's a great intro of the data extraction and insight capability of artificial intelligence. Let us go to the bullet points. Key points to understand about using AI to extract data and insight include: one, the basis for most document analysis solution is a computer vision technology called optical character recognition, OCR. I want you to note that somewhere. Then the second one is why an OCR model can identify the location of text in an image. More advanced models can also interpret individual values in a document and so extract specific field. Why most data extraction models have historically focused on extracting field from text-based form, more advanced models can extract information from audio recording, images, and videos are becoming more readily available. Okay, I believe that is very, very clear. Now, the focus of this discussion is on the data extraction capability of artificial intelligence. Yesterday, we talked about computer vision, which is the ability of the computer to see. Now, from the short video we just watched, he uploaded a receipt of his expenses in Paris, and AI was able to identify um, what he spent the money on, maybe on food, on breakfast, or whatever, maybe hotel bills. And he also asked AI to convert the currency to dollar so that he can submit an expense claim. Yeah, for someone who has not worked in the corporate world, you might not know what is an expense claim. An expense claim is when you are sent by your organization for an official duty or an official task outside your workstation. Maybe you need to travel some miles. Then your company will be responsible for the transportation. It could be flight, it could be by road, it could be by train, or even by water. And they'll also be responsible for your accommodation as well as for your feeding as well, maybe breakfast and lunch. And although they do have what is it called, spending limits of what you can spend, even when it comes to booking flights. There's a limit of how much you can spend on flight. And the same thing too when it comes to your food as well. I mean, your feeding, breakfast, maybe in the morning you can't spend more than $20, and when you're having lunch you can spend more than $30. And when it comes to your hotel, to your accommodation, there's also a limit. Then that's a simple description of expense, your expense report. Yeah, with AI, you can see from the little video clips, he uploaded the receipt and AI was able to identify what he spent the money on, and AI was able to also convert the expenses in euros to dollars. Now, you can use artificial intelligence to extract data. Now, let us look at maybe use cases. Let us assume you want to submit a form. You need to apply for something and you need to download a PDF form, right? You can upload that PDF form into your chat GBT or into your AI technology and ask specific questions, like asking question that when is the due date for this form application. Now, that process of asking ChatGPT to extract or to give you specific information, that's what we call data extraction. You're trying to extract specific information from the PDF document. And we have several business use cases. Sometimes you could have little piece of information. You can scan them and upload them to your ChatGPT, and within a few minutes is going to extract every information on that PDF. And I believe that is an innovative capability. you know and the good thing about AI is that it can also expound on the information extracted. If you want to ask more information, you want him to go further to explain, to search the internet to provide more context or elucidate on whatever information you're trying to extract from the PDF. Now, there is the solution is called intelligent, maybe documentation. Yeah, these are one of the key capabilities of artificial intelligence. You can use it to extract specific information, to get insight. Even if you have a raw PDF um, material that has specific information like values, you can upload it to ChatGPT and ask it to create something like a dashboard metrics. You can ask it to create some visual diagram, maybe like a bar chart and Instagram from the values that are captured in that PDF document. Now, these are some of the things you can do, with ChatGPT. Okay, let's continue. Data and insight extraction scenarios. Common uses of AI to extract data and insight include automated processing of forms and other documents in a business process. For example, processing an expense claim, large scale digitization of data from paper form, for example, scanning, I mentioned that, and archiving census record, indexing document for search, identify key points and follow-up action for meeting transcript or recording. Now, a typical use case of this is your Zoom. Now, Zoom has the ability to transcribe or to take notes. If you turn on the features immediately after your call, or when you once you are out of the Zoom call, you are going to receive a summary of the discussion. And also, the good thing is also going to identify and capture the next step, the next action items. This is really, really amazing. Okay, let's move to the next unit. If you do have any question, please do not hesitate to DM me. Yeah. And please share this with anyone you think want to get started on artificial intelligence. This is going to be a daily exercise. Every day, we're going to spend 1 hour to go through, these teachings. And I'm going to also share the link once we are done with this particular unit. Okay, let's move to the next unit.
AI has the potential to drive amazing advances in science and society and to improve the lives of millions around the world. But there's also the potential for abuse or misuse of this technology, which is why we need to talk about responsible AI. Now, I'm planning some questionable activities while I'm in Paris. Let's see if Copilot can help me. Well, that's not very helpful. All right, let's try something else. You're no fun. Now, the reason that Copilot wasn't able to help me with my nefarious plans is that its developers have applied content filters to safeguard the types of response that it can give. And that's part of a wider approach to responsible AI. Microsoft has defined a set of principles for responsible AI. The first of these principles is fairness, the idea that AI systems should treat all people fairly. Reliability and safety is another important principle. Any AI systems that you build need to perform reliably and safely. Privacy and security is also important. We need to protect the data that was used to train models, and we need to respect the privacy of the users who use them. Inclusiveness is another important principle. AI systems should empower everyone and engage people. It's also important that AI systems be transparent. Users should be able to understand what the system is doing and be comfortable using it. And finally, accountability is an important principle. The people who design and build AI systems need to be accountable for what they do. Applying responsible AI practices helps protect users and developers from unintended consequences that could potentially lead to harm. By using AI responsibly, we can make sure that everyone benefits from the amazing advances and incredible things that AI makes possible.
Wow, that is amazing. Now, let's talk about responsible AI. I'm going to give my own definition and perspective of what is responsible AI. Responsible AI is simply employing or complying or adhering to ethical guidelines in the building, in the development, in the adoption, and in the deployment of your AI technology or your AI solution. These are the guidelines that ensure or make it possible in order to prevent you from the threats that is associated with the use of artificial intelligence. AI could be a monster if not implemented in compliance with responsible AI principles. Applying responsible AI principles in the building or in the development of your AI solutions keep you in a safety space or prevent you from experiencing and encountering the challenges associated with the use of artificial intelligence. Now, some of you might be asking, what is the issue with AI? You said, I've heard on news that AI is a powerful tool. AI is a tool that has been described as a technology that would change the world in a more magnificent manner. Then why are we saying that AI is also a monster? Now, let us look at the monster behavior of AI. There's something they call bias. Bias is when AI spills out outputs that are not fair. Like AI, for instance, let me give us a recent use case, maybe about 2, 3 years. There was a research that was carried out by the research team of Google. And when they were testing this AI technology, which has to do with computer vision, they installed an AI technology that into a camera in a grocery store. Then what they were trying to do is they were trying to identify potential customers that enter the store that have the likelihood of engaging in shoplifting. And they noticed that anytime a black person or a person of color entered the grocery store, the AI will identify the person as a potential shoplifter. Now, which is not true. Then the process of AI identifying someone who has no capability or has no intent to shoplift, that is a biased nature demonstrated by artificial intelligence. Then another problem with AI is what we call hallucination. When AI gives you information that are not true. Then let us continue. Let's go through the bullet points. Now, when it comes to responsible AI, there are acceptable principles that have been outlined as ethical guidelines that has to be complied to or integrated when building an AI technology or when adopting or buying or uh, uploading or what's the word? Downloading an AI application into your phone. These are certain principles or ethics that you have to consider. And you might be wondering that how did these ethics come about? There are certain agencies and organizations that have come together, both in the US and in Europe. One of them is National Institute of Standard and Technology. This is an agency that works closely with the US government in developing ethical guidelines to ensure the safety use of technology. Then we also have some certain regulation in Europe. One is called the AI EU Act. Then one of the major characteristics of AI EU Act, or one of the major highlights of that act, is it was able to categorize the risks that is associated in AI in about 3 or 4 categories. And they were also able to outline the responsible AI principles. Now, let us look at this some of these principles. One is fairness. AI models are trained using data which is generally sourced and selected by humans. There is substantial risk that data selection criteria or the data itself reflect unconscious bias that may cause a model to produce discriminatory outputs. AI developers need to take care to minimize bias in training data and test AI system for fairness. Let's go back to the previous use case of AI identifying a black person or someone of color as a potential shoplifter. Why did that happen? Because the data that was used to train the model wasn't diverse. That means the data, the images that were used were just people of white races, anyone with a white skin, not someone with a black skin. But if the AI technology or the model was trained with people of different background and people of different races, the AI technology will not be biased in identifying a black person or a person of color as a potential shoplifter. Okay, let's move to the next. The next one is reliability and safety. AI is based on probabilistic model. It is not infallible. AI powered application need to take this into account and mitigate risks and accordingly. Now, what this principle is saying is there is need to validate the output of any AI technology. And that is why there is an advocacy for what we call human oversight. That is, when AI technology is being used, there should be a final check by a human figure to ensure or validate the output provided by artificial intelligence. Now, the next one is privacy and security. Models and security. Models are trained using data, which may include personal information. AI developers have a responsibility to ensure that the training data is kept secured and that the trained model themselves can be used to review private, personal, or organizational details. The next one is inclusiveness. I think I might have to pause this live. Please give me a few minutes. Let me come back. A little break. Okay, I'm back. For those that are just joining, we're talking about responsible AI principles. The other principle is privacy and security. It said models are trained using data which may include personal information. AI developers have a responsibility to ensure that the training data is kept secured and that the training model themselves can be used to review private personnel or organization details. Now, this is a very important aspect of using AI technology, a principle which I consider to be um, maybe the most important aspect of responsible AI principles. And this is where a lot of people fall victim. People can load different kinds of AI app on their phone, and most of them eventually provide personal information like their account number. Some people even go ahead to put their social security number or some specific, confidential information that have to do maybe with your passport or something that has to do with some form of identification or information regarding your health information. These are very sensitive information that you are not encouraged to input into any AI technology. And if there is a need for you to input a confidential or sensitive information into an AI technology, you have to be sure that the AI technology has the capability to mask those sensitive information so that the AI doesn't have access to your personalized or personal identified information. And what responsible rights principle is saying, or this concept of privacy and security is saying that organizations should put in guardrails in place when they are building AI technology. They have to ensure that their business data and customer data that are very confidential are not exposed to this AI technology. I think I might have to take a little break